News of the week. Jaime Munguia pops for a PED, and now all eyes are on Eddie Reynoso, Team Canelo. Jamal Charlo winds up having an epic rant about it all. And here's what I thought was funny, just to pivot to Charlo's rant about it all for a second. People are see Canelo's still on it and did it, and I'm like, Jamal's whole rant was about snack, and Canelo's still using clenbuterol. So for everyone excited about Canelo Crawford, Crawford's a snack fighter, and Jamal was talking about Canelo. So I just find it funny that there's this finger point, like you, no, you, no, you, and it's like,
It's like that Spider-Man meme where
yes,
everybody.
yes, yeah, yes. But anyways, Jaime Munguia on the record officially, pops for something. And it's funny. Chris Algieri winds up saying, shout out to Chris, who he goes, your favorite fighter is probably, using PEDs. And all I could do is when I said it, they wanted to kill me. And we even had to take down a damn video 10 days ago because the conversation in it, just it's centered around a certain fighter and people lost their minds when we're not trying to single out any one single guy, but we got to single out Jaime Munguia now. He pops for a PD. He says he's clean, B sample and all that. What do you think of everything, Raheem?
Okay, without naming names.
Right.
Okay. The issue is there is no standardized testing. There is no accountability across state lines, much less countries and oceans. There is no uniformity to know who is testing positive when or how many months they are able to cycle on and off before they start getting tested, and how they can play the game with the commission as to when they sign the fight, determining when testing begins. Like all of this shit, man, is just part of the game now. It's not something that you're encouraged to talk about even when a person does pop dirty, because then it's a B sample, then they're fighting it, then it's the I mean, I was not guilty but I'm going to take the suspension because it's better than fighting it, or I don't know how it got in my system, or it didn't help me, and maybe somebody slipped it in a steak or scrambled eggs or something I didn't even know, and now I got the suspension. And if you keep pounding on that, then you become their enemy. You become the enemy of the promoter, you become the enemy of the network, you become an enemy of the trainer, and you're
Of the
the one
fans that love said fighter.
who love him. And you
Yeah.
can't even have these honest conversations, much less about guys who don't pop but are suspected, just because there is some kind of circumstantial evidence that would lead you to ask the question, not make the indictment, but you can't even ask the question. And I think the problem is that no one has the ability, because no one has the authority across all of these different commissions and states and countries and all this shit, to hold anybody, or I should say everybody, accountable to the same standard. Some things are illegal over here, they're illegal over there, and some things you can use here and not there. And you can get a permission to use it over here, and then you can get permission after the fact over there. And so it's just like, I could even accept a fighter saying, "Hey, I didn't even know that this was on the ban list, and I was in some supplement, and I wasn't really trying to cheat, but it's in my system." It's too convoluted, man. And until there is some kind of uniformity, we're just whacking the mole, right? We're just and everyone's gonna say that they're not guilty. All you can go by is the sample, and then some guys get exonerated after A and B samples come back, and somehow all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, well maybe there is something wrong with the test. Who fucking knows? Only thing I'm sure of is that drug use, PEDs, are rampant in the sport of boxing to a much greater degree than is being tested for. And until something or someone is able to change that, every year is just going to be like, you might as well get your bingo card out. And maybe maybe that's some kind of morbid game we can play online. Who pops this year?
Damn. Yeah. I'll even not say some of I even have some theories about this Mugia stuff that are just too speculative. So forget it. But
Yeah, it's not worth it. Listen, I'm telling
yeah,
you,
yeah,
don't even
yeah.
bother. Because you know what I mean? The only people who are listening are the people who want to punish you for the take.
Yes. And well, Victor Conti is sitting somewhere, Raheem, saying, "What do you mean? We have VADA." To that, you would say,
I would repeat everything I just said. And I learned my lesson. Like, you know what? It's not a hill I'm going to die on, because no one else is willing to climb it. So why should I be up here freezing to death all by myself, getting stones thrown at me? All I'm saying is this sport, like cycling in the 90s, like bicycling in the 90s, like the Tour de France. This shit is rampant. I am telling you. And there's ways, so many ways around the testing, so many ways around the commission, so many ways around that I don't know who's on it and I don't know who's not. And even when the testing comes out, you still can't entirely be sure. And all I can say is until somebody or some organization figures a way to get a handle on that, every year of boxing is just going to be two or three guys whose names shock you and a couple of guys whose names don't.
Do you recall John Witherspoon's rant on steroids?
I do not, but anything
Oh,
John
it's a
Witherspoon rants
shame,
about
man.
is worth listening to.
He, so I'll paraphrase in a much less hilarious tone than I could ever,
You might
summon.
have to find that clip and cut that one into this.
I almost want to just play it for you right now.
There you go. Let's hear it.
All
I want
right,
to
all
hear
right, all right. Raheem, give me one moment. And
it.
it's hilarious, but I bring it up to say, is this just where we're headed, and should we just head here? To what John.
I've never heard the take, but I bet it's just like let everybody be on steroids. No, that is not the fucking answer.
All
Let's
right, here we
hear it.
go.
Swimming professional sports?
Steroids? I think it's a good thing. Look what it's done to our baseball players. Roger Clemens, my man, he could throw a ball 380 miles an hour. Steroids. After 20 years, that's a bad motherfucker. I think there should be a whole new league where you can have all the steroids you want. Who cares if you grow another foot? You got 3 fucking feet? Run, motherfucker. I spent $700 for a basketball game. I don't see a motherfucker fly. And the ball has steroids. See somebody knock that motherfucker's head. I want to see a cricket player eat the fucking puck. I'm going to tell you who needs some steroids. The soccer player. 3 fucking hours. The score is 1-1. Give him some steroids. I want to see 115 to 150. I pay to see some shit like that. But you need steroids. I'm going to get me some fucking steroids. I want to get it.
So yeah. Is that where we're headed? Is that where we're headed? Like,
no, because there still needs to be a veil on this kind of cheating, is what it is. And no network wants to be promoting fights that, or I should say, televising fights that don't have credibility as an even competition. Promoters don't
but if
want
they're both on it, is it an even competition?
No, it's not, because even that, and this is why part of the reason why it should be illegal, because it isn't fair. It isn't even just because, listen, I mean, if we're talking about drugs, right? You live in Vegas. Let's say,
I've done them, Raheem, by the way. Yes.
All right, well, let's say you live in Vegas and I live in Montana, right? Well, you can probably get some really great cocaine, but you're not going to be able to beat my meth. That if the cocaine is a better enhancement than the meth, then you got more money than me.
One guy's got the blue magic and the other guy's got.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's even about it. You're not getting it from the same source. It's not regulated. And also, if it were to go rampant like that, you would see, I believe, a lot more fatalities and a lot more adverse reaction, because the only thing that trying to avoid testing and having to cycle on and off or whatever does for you is it keeps you at least at some level of moderation. Now, if you want to see what it looks like with no moderation, look at the bodybuilding industry, right? Look at, and we don't even talk about what happens to those guys. And, because that is what I'm saying. It's not okay. It's not okay, dude. It's not something that any sport can really survive for long if once you lose the credibility of an even playing field. Even in baseball, they had to get a handle on it, because at some point after the Bash brothers and the Bonds and McGuire, Chase, and all that shit, the aftermath of it was a hangover. It was sick. It was like it didn't feel good anymore. It felt cartoonish. We were bordering on some, we love the WWE and all that, but in level competition, it took the credibility of the MLB away, and it started to feel just like a home run derby of a bunch of junkies. That you can't survive that, dude. And I don't even have to tell you about the dangers of combat sports and why that's the case. So no, I mean, yeah, Witherspoon is hilarious, but the truth of it is, if in any sport it can't be permitted, it's certainly combat sports. Maybe I could accept that take a little bit more in baseball or something, but even that's tongue in cheek. But absolutely not. Something has to happen, and I again will call on the only person I've ever seen at this level be able to get a handle on boxing. Your best and favorite friend, Turkey Al-Sheikh, I think His Excellency would be excellent in figuring out, at least in his orbit, which is getting bigger, how to manage this particular issue, at least in his orbit. And so many people right now want to compete in his orbit that you couldn't move the needle. You really could, no pun intended.
Random separate aside, as you mentioned, the Bash Brothers, that is mad funny that Mark McGwire gets to go to the Hall of Fame, but not Barry Bonds. It's just like, you hit 250 more home runs on steroids, but like we're just gonna put him in because we like him and we don't like you. So it's just funny. I don't know. It's just funny.
Yeah, that's a conversation to be had.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Things that make you say, yeah.
But to close on this whole topic, like, notice how we didn't single out and shit on Jaime Munguia. Like, you know what I feel like that would be the small-sighted, short-sighted thing to do. It's just the low-hanging fruit in this discussion is Reynoso, Canelo, and it's like, no, I mean, they deserve blowback, but to stop there and that's the end of the discussion would be very short-sighted and shallow, I think.
And repetitive and not at all a solution to anything. We're just going to, curb stomp a guy for, yes, cheating. And cheating is all the things cheating is. But I mean, I get tired of saying the same old shit over and over again. So at least if I'm going to have to repeat myself, which I will have to do and have just done today, I would like it to be towards some kind of solution-oriented rant, not just whack-a-mole who's the next guy to hit in the head with a club.